That fan has never existed. It just doesn't exist, Derpy. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is the Friday installment of the two Dum Yinzers, everybody. This is episode 494. Just 6 short episodes away from the big 500. We hope everybody joins us. It's going to be the Monday after the Super Bowl. We've got some festivities planned for the week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But guys, how you guys doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm living the dream.
Derpy,
I'm
how
doing
you
great.
doing?
Great.
Derpy.
I'm doing very well.
Derpy, you we have a little bit different of a rendition around here. We don't exactly go up to Gobbler's Knob for Groundhog Day.
No, we don't.
No,
See, now I'm getting an echo.
I'm doing great, man. I'm living the dream.
Okay, is that me or is that you or what's going on?
That's not me.
Okay. Hey, Ron on the board. What we do is we do not participate with at Gobbler's Knob. What we do is we stuff Derpy in a box 10 hours prior to sunrise. And then when the sun starts to come up, we yank Derpy out of the box and we see if you see his shadow. Derpy, you didn't see your shadow this year, man.
Yep, I
Yeah.
didn't.
That's either a good thing or a bad thing. See, I like winter derpy, so this is a bad thing. If the spring comes here early, I'm gonna
It
hate you.
See, I hear an echo too, Ron. It's driving me crazy.
it's a bad thing.
Who's echoing? I'm losing my mind. Um, I'm okay with 6 early weeks of spring. And the crazy thing is, we just really haven't had a winter. We haven't had a winter yet here. So, it almost makes me think, you know what? If even, of course, this dumb rat don't know what it's talking about. And I don't mean Derpy, I mean the groundhog. But I would think that we're gonna get slammed, guys. I think February is gonna be rough. Here we are, February 2nd. And we really haven't had a winter. We haven't had any storms. We haven't, I think we've had one snow.
Yeah, at least here that's all we've had.
Okay, now you sound better.
Yeah. I switched microphones, boys.
But there you go, everybody. Derpy did not see his shadow this morning, so
Derpy.
spring is on its way. Everybody could rest assured that things are going to get better and it's going to get warmer because Derpy did not see his shadow.
Derpy.
And this is a foolproof thing that we do here. So
Derpy
you have
did,
it.
yeah. So if winter stays around, it is all Derpy's fault.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with blaming Derpy.
And then you could do as we do here at this show is blame Derpy for everything. So everybody wins.
Well,
It's
I
a
mean,
win-win-win.
Except for Derpy, of course. But
Well,
Derpy.
but he has his own sound effect. He has his own
he has his own. Yeah, Ryan and I started the show, and we don't have our own sound effect.
Well, Mike, don't you just rush that just yet. I'm working on something for you. Don't you just worry, Mister.
I'm afraid now.
I have it all teed up. I'm down to about 3 different ones. I may use all 3 of them. I mean, eventually, but I got about 3 different sound effects that I am going to use for you, Mike. It's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I think Derpy will enjoy them.
I'm afraid now. I am very afraid.
Guys, did anybody see this in Pittsburgh? In Pittsburgh, the mobile toilets are being removed from downtown Pittsburgh. Yes, the mobile toilets, the porta potties that they put downtown Pittsburgh, they were placed there to help curb public urination. So, for any
what?
any ways that it seems like the public urination issues were getting better in Pittsburgh, they are now pulling the porta potties out. So, be prepared if you go downtown for it to smell like piss again.
See, that's why I don't go downtown.
They took them out. They put them in last summer.
I didn't even know they were. I don't go downtown, so it doesn't affect me.
And the
People
plan
need-
was.
Be like what Kramer on Seinfeld. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. But a lot of people they want some place to go and feel safe and to urinate or other things. But there they go. There you go, guys. They're taking out the porta potties downtown that were put there to curb public urination last summer. Anybody watch the? Did anybody watch the All Pro games yesterday?
I watched Miles Killebrew catch like 45 footballs at once.
He did really good. That was a pretty good strategy that he had. He shoved the ball between his legs as the ball was approaching, and
Yeah, that
he
was
did
smart.
very well.
I watched 5 minutes of the dodgeball segment and it was boring.
Minka the Southpaw, he was out there playing dodgeball. Very, very lame. Both participants for the Steelers, Miles Killebrew and Minka Fitzpatrick, will both be participating in the flag football game on Sunday. So if you tune in to check it out on Sunday, you will see both of these guys playing. Also, they are playing a game of Madden amongst all the skills challenges there are, through this weekend and going, with the NFL All Pro game. Now, one of the challenges are Madden, head-to-head Madden. So
We're streaming on Twitch, boys,
yeah,
or YouTube, or wherever.
can you get it any further away from being a physical sport? I mean, come on, you're now playing
Okay,
video
I'm not
games.
asking for Sean Taylor to come out of the grave and steamroll punters, but I'm also not asking for a Madden tournament. We can have a somewhere in the middle. We can find a happy medium for everyone.
The Madden. So 2024 Super Bowl Madden simulation. The simulation that they did to predict the Super Bowl winners has been right on for I think like 3 or 4 years in a row. And this year's 2024 simulation for the Super Bowl guys has the winner as the San Francisco 49ers.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there you go. Do what you want with that, but it's been right for 3 or 4 years. I can't remember if it was 3 or if it was 4, but they picked San Fran. I mean, they played the game and let it play out, and it was San Francisco. So
I'm waiting for like the little octopus that comes out and picks. That's my official key. That's when I know when to put my money down, is when they get the octopus involved.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the dogs and the pandas and the seals.
I think we could do something like that with Derpy.
Yeah.
Like for the prop picks or something. We could have like, do you have a dog, Mike? Do you have any pets? Do you have any?
I don't, but I got a feral child running around.
Well, that's what we could do. Like your child, who obviously doesn't know anything about football,
doesn't know anything about anything.
We could, ask him some of these prop bets and just see what he says. Of course, there's no thought or rhyme or reason into what he would say. And then on the other hand, Derpy will also do the same thing. We'll ask him the prop bets and we'll see how it turns out.
I'm okay with this.
Derpy, would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with competing against a 5-year-old?
Derpy, he got a little bit of the tism, so he's not a real 5-year-old. He's really smart on some things, other things he's a little behind. So, you might be able to catch him off guard.
Well, what I'm thinking is obviously prop bets one way or the other. You don't know what's going to happen on these things.
Yeah.
And we could just have two people making these random picks, and one could be your child and the other could be Derpy. And I think it could be entertaining to see how it turns out.
Me too. I'm all for, using my child for prop bets for entertainment purposes only. This is not an advertised gamble.
So this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking, guys. So maybe next week we'll get into this. Maybe we'll set it up and build it up through the week, and toward the end of the week we'll have a final showdown between Derpy and your son. I think that could be fun.
I'm down for it. And everyone knows my kid loves to be on this show.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win-win for everyone.
And the thing is, Derpy, I mean, if you lose, you can't be upset because of it's just a random just a random event. I mean, nobody obviously knows what Taylor Swift is going to do or what Usher is going to sing first or what I think that could be fun. Be a lot
I
of
would
fun.
agree.
So we'll do that next week. Huh? What'd you say? You got a brain freeze? Why is Mike
face?
Why is he frozen? I think he's frozen. Look at his face. Why is he frozen like that? So there he is, everybody. There's Mike. I don't know what he's doing, and the thing is, I want to clown on him and give him shit, but like as soon as I do this whole
I
thing,
wish I could take a picture.
The whole production will get shut down, and it'll just be a big disaster, and we'll have to come back in and go out, and I'm ready to just freak out, man.
Oh man!
Look,
there it goes.
I hate this. I fucking hate this more than anything.
Oh, Ryan. Yeah, I'm down with that idea, though. I'm down with that idea.
Well, now we got to start over.
I know. I know.
I'm losing my mind with this.
I was going to mention as Mike as the 5-year-old hosting, but hey. Oh,
I don't know. I guess we go. Let's go out. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm losing my mind with this.
Looks like we are back. All right, we are back. I just got to get everyone back in here having some internet issues. That was wild. I love the internet. My modem crashed and it came back. We're gonna get the show back up and running here in a minute. I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that, everyone. We'll get this show back up and running here in a few minutes. Oh, let's see what's going on here. We got everyone's coming back. Sorry about that, everyone. I had a
Mike,
little
what
bit
is
of
going
internet
on?
connection. My modem actually died, and I had to reset it.
Can we?
Internet just crap. It went down, came back. We're back up and live on YouTube, and we're recording right now.
We can't go through a week without having an issue. What are the problems?
I don't know, dude. It's just the internet crashed. Things happen. Verizon hates me. Comcast hates me. Xfinity hates me. The plug was pulled. The plug's nowhere near around me, so I don't know what happened there, Ron. That's the fun and excitement and the dangers of live.
I don't know. I don't like that. Let's let's figure out what we got to do to fix that. That's
Yeah,
I mean, where are we? What
Yeah.
you know? What's going on?
we're live, dude. We're keep going. It
I
kept
understand
rolling.
that, but I mean, is it did we live and then it died out and then it came back on?
We're still rolling.
Hmm.
We're still
Not a
rolling.
fan.
We're still recording.
I'm not a fan of that.
Neither am I. But
What can we do to fix that?
you want to get me some fiber optics?
Yeah, you see what happened across the street from the studio. The guy got
Exactly.
fiber optics and they
Yeah.
broke into his terracotta pipe, and now his front yard is
now it's free. Yeah, I don't want that to happen here.
It's just not good.
It happens. It happens.
Well, Mike does that. He's done that before. He literally ended a show because we had a disagreement about something.
And it was a good thing that we did in the show because we had a disagreement. It was getting a little too heated that day.
We got to fix this. Whatever it takes, we got to fix it. I don't know what it will take, but I don't even know where Derpy is. He's gone.
Maybe Derpy's the one who sabotaged the show so he can go do his show. That's what I'm thinking.
Like, I don't even know.
Sabotaged the own show.
I don't even recall what we talked about.
We were making fun of the Pro Bowl. No, we were talking about the prop bets, how Derpy and my kid are going to
Yeah. Well, he's all aboard.
He's all aboard.
He wants to do it. He said it as we were. Again, I don't even know if we were on air or what the hell was on.
We were.
He said it sounded like a great idea. He wants to do this.
Yeah. I heard that. He said it sounds like a great idea. Like Derpy's all for it. My kid's all for it. We're all for it.
I agree, Ron. Disagreements are good for the show, but I can't let this piss me off anymore. I have to continue, guys.
We have to keep going on.
Let's see. So yes, the Pro Bowl, they're going to play Madden on Sunday. So if you, which I like, I tune in and watch these Madden Bowls whenever they are on TV. I kind of get into it because Madden was such a big part of my life growing up. So I can get into it. But I like I said, the way they manufacture this Pro Bowl system and everything, it might just be you're just catching clips and and you're not seeing the whole game. I don't know. This Pro Bowl couldn't get any worse in my opinion. I mean, what are you going to do next? And we often joke, what are they going to be playing? They're going to be bowling, are they going to be playing curling, maybe darts next? It's just it's such a bad,
What? Yeah.
I mean, it's a physical sport. I understand you want to protect people, but at the end of the day, if they don't want to participate in physical things, maybe you shouldn't have got involved with football.
But it's the end of the year. You're not making any money on it. One thing I saw is have it like an all rookie thing, like the best rookies from the AFC versus the best rookies from the NFC, and because those guys will
And
go
you're
out
not
there,
getting paid in anything, but the fact of the matter is your job is a physical job.
Yeah, but it's the end of the year. Their season's over. Their contract's done. They're not getting paid by the team anymore. And if you get
they gotta
hurt at
do
the Pro
something.
Bowl,
Because
that
other
can ruin
all-star
your
games are
career.
okay. And the thing is, I mean, the other all-star games, they suck just because they suck. It's at least they participate.
Yeah, but like in hockey, you don't hit anyone. Basketball, you don't do anything. Baseball
But at least
anymore
they're
is no
playing the
longer.
sport that they play. They're not,
Yeah,
hockey, they're
yeah,
not sitting around playing poker for their all-star weekend. And
yeah. Like you can kind
basketball,
of
they're
like loaf around in those sports and make it entertaining. You can't loaf around in football and make it
in
entertaining.
hockey, they're not playing Monopoly to decide
Yeah,
who's going to win the all-star. See what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
just
but they're not going out and like playing like at full speed trying to hit everyone. There's odd man rushes all the time. So
which was the case in with football. I mean, they just weren't hitting each other. Okay.
yeah.
Um,
Then
I
people
don't
complain
know.
about that, so they went to this. Now we
I
like
wait all season and I watch my favorite players play well and earn this spot, and then I have to watch them play volleyball. It's a dumb system.
I think all-star games are just dumb anymore. The older I get, I used to love them when I was
That's because when
younger.
that's what they're for. It's for entertaining
Yeah,
the young people. And
yeah.
when you're younger,
Well,
you like to see all the best players from the
yeah,
sport come together, and it's kind of a little reward at the end of the season. And the players, because they the lack of participation, they don't want to give this reward anymore. They
yeah.
just want to take, walk away at the end, and say, you know what, let me go home with my bag.
I
You
said,
know,
yeah, yeah. You get your money and go, and don't want to risk injury anymore. But like I said, you don't need Sean Taylor trying to kill a punter anymore. But you also don't need what we have now. There
there's
has
got to
to
be a
be
happy medium.
a
There's got
happy
to be.
medium. Find it and try and make it work. We need
Derpy's
because we need something until the Super Bowl.
look. Derpy's making me nuts.
Derpy.
He's texting me and he's asking me for the link. Why don't you just? He's making me nuts, Mike.
I don't know what to do.
Can
with
you
Derpy.
please do something with him, please?
I can't do anything with Derpy.
What a Friday! I got to tell you, what a Friday this is.
This is a carryover from work. I had like so much of the technology at work just stop working
Why don't you
that
leave
I
that
had to stop
garbage
and
there?
fix. It's
We don't
just,
need this shit.
Yeah, I tried to leave it at work. Usually it happens on Saturdays. We've gone so long on the show without any technical difficulties. Then today at work, it just happened, and it's just steamrolling. It is, following me like a black cloud.
So the 2024 NFL head coaching carousel is complete, everybody. We do have all new head coaches in all places that needed head coaches. Starting, Mike, I'm going to start with Dan Quinn in the Commanders. That is your new head coach in Washington. In Seattle, they get Baltimore's defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald.
That was a really good hire. I like
He's going to be
one.
head coaching over in Seattle. Raheem Morris, one of the earlier hires. Look, Derpy's driving me nuts over here. I'm going to lose my mind with him. Raheem Morris, of course. Now the Panthers hired David Canales.
Yeah.
The Chargers hired Jim Harbaugh. The
That's a pretty good
Titans
hire.
hired Brian Callahan. The Raiders hired Antonio Pierce. The Patriots hired Gerard Mayo. And the only one, guys, that doesn't have a job at this point is Bill Belichick. Are you surprised, Mike, that now that the head coaching spots, they're all filled, are you surprised that Bill Belichick doesn't have work in the NFL?
A little bit, but no. You look at his track record with Brady, great success. Without Brady, when his time at Cleveland was not good, he had that one halfway decent year when Mac Jones had a pretty good rookie year of success without Tom Brady. Then, last year was a complete disaster. So it doesn't surprise me that teams are looking at, hey, a lot of your success came with this franchise quarterback, and we don't have that guy. We don't have a Tom Brady for you to come in. And, at 71 years old, he still wants total control of the whole operation. How many teams are going to want to give that to him at this stage of his career?
You think somebody would take
It's
him
really
on?
not that surprising to me.
So I am surprised because here's the thing: somebody somewhere, I would have thought to myself, I thought to myself would have taken this guy and just because for a million reasons actually, because maybe your team just is never good. Think of a
Yeah.
team like Carolina; they're just never good. Let's bank. I mean, everything that we've tried over the past almost 30 years really hasn't worked with the exception of maybe one or two seasons. Let's try to go with Bill Belichick. And I just, again, I am surprised that he landed nowhere. I would have bet money that somebody would have took a chance on Bill Belichick. Again, you see the proof was in the pudding with Tom Brady. He goes to Tampa Bay, he wins down there, and Bill Belichick is unable to put a competitive team on the field since then. But there's just, you'd think there'd be a team in the league, but instead they're going after a bunch of these young names. And does that mean, Mike? Do you think that do you think his run is done? Do you think that I honestly think that I could see after maybe having an off season next year where he's not participating, he's not coaching, I could see him being a year from now maybe
Yeah.
hired somewhere. I just can't. I have a hard time believing that the Bill Belichick era is over in the NFL.
Yeah, me too. And he's so close. He wants to coach. He's so close to Shula's record for career wins. So he wants back. Wouldn't surprise me if he takes a year off and then how some of these teams are, man. They go through coaches.
I think he's waiting for an ideal
Like I go
situation.
through underwear. Yeah,
I think maybe he was banking on Mike McCarthy, maybe getting canned in Dallas or
Yep.
somewhere where he could come in with an already
Yeah.
made to go team that's
Like-
pretty decent, and all they need
Yeah.
is just a little thing here and there, a tweak, and they could possibly be in the run for a championship.
Yeah.
This is what I think. I honestly believe that when you said whenever they were saying that he's going down to Atlanta to interview, he's going
Yeah.
here to go to interview. I don't think he wants that. I don't think he wants to build a team. I don't think he wants to take the time. The guy's
Well-
been in the league a million years. He's had major success. I think that Bill Belichick, Mike, is waiting. He's waiting for the ideal opportunity to open. If that takes an off season, a season without him being in the league, I think he's going to do that. That's just my take on it.
Me too. And I'm surprised. I thought San Diego was going to be his.
I did too.
I thought he was going to go there, and then
You got this
Harbaugh,
young stud quarterback.
then Harbaugh coming in, and that kind of, he swooped in and not really swooped in, but blew them away, and he was able to go in there, and I think that caught Belichick by surprise. Belichick and his people by surprise, and like a place like Washington, he could have been interesting down there. They got some young players, even Atlanta young players, but like you said, these are all rebuilding situations. And
he doesn't want to.
it's
Yeah,
rough for him.
he wants to go somewhere and basically do what he does and win.
Yeah.
And not have to put a lot of work into it. And you know what? At his point in his life, I could understand that. And maybe he does just want to kind of take an easy job. Like I said, I think Dallas was actually very ideal for him when they hired Mike, rehired Mike McCarthy. They kept him on board.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I really was. I thought they were opening up something for a Belichick kind of situation because he fits in that. I mean, come on, he's been this. He's been the guy up in New England for 22 years now. And I could just see him landing in that position. As I said, they're just pieces away from being a true competitor. But we will see. We will see. Derpy is back with us. Welcome back, Derpy. Ron on the board asks, how old is Derpy? Derpy is a mystery. He's an enigma. I still to this very day don't know how old he is. However, I do know one thing. He's not as old as he sounds.
And that is.
And he told me this as when we first met. Derpy says, I'm not as I don't sound like as old as I am.
One thing that you know.
And what's that, Mike?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but Derpy is in his late 20s.
Yes.
Derpy's in his late 20s. And Patriots hire former Browns OC and quarterback coach Alex Van Pelt as their OC. Is it just me, or does it seem like the Patriots are taking a dive?
Oh, they are big time. They're reverting to what they were pre-Belichick.
And they were good. Don't get me wrong; they were in the Super Bowl just pre-Belichick, and they lost to the Packers. They had a good team through the '90s, and I refuse to think that that they're gonna. I just every move that they're making seems very bizarre to me. They lose Tom Brady. They agree to part ways with Bill Belichick. And then they hire Alex Van Pelt. Guys, come on. As their offensive coordinator.
It's going to be a rough time up there for them. We'll see how it goes. They hired a new defensive coordinator too, I believe. I think that organization is going to be in a in the cellar for a little bit.
And
It's
our
going to take
Alex
a
Van
while.
Pelt is somebody here on the show that we all agreed on we do not want this guy.
No,
No.
He's just a schlum, this guy. And I just think to myself, where is he going to land? And then he lands in New England.
yeah, and like he's been an offensive coordinator, but I think everywhere he's gone, he hasn't been the guy to call the plays. Like, he's the one who will help design the offense, and then like the head coach has been the play caller. So that's going to be interesting to see how he does play calling up there. But they don't have their quarterback situation is terrible too.
It's worse than ours.
Yeah, they're they'll probably either get what Drake May, Caleb Williams, or the reach and get Daniels. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do up there.
And as we mentioned, I'm not really thrilled about any of those three guys that you just mentioned.
There's no quarterback in this draft I'm enamored with.
No, there really isn't.
Like some of them do a couple things well, but they also have a lot of flaws. They're all of them to me are third round quarterbacks and later that you want to see how they develop. I would not waste a first round pick on them. But man, you know how it is in the NFL and the whole draft process. Everyone gets overhyped on the quarterbacks.
Yes, and
but that's fine by me.
We will be at the NFL draft before you know it, guys. It's going to be here before you know it.
Mm-hmm.
We only have a little over a week till the Super Bowl, which that's going to be the end of the NFL football season. But as we know, the NFL football season is a 365-day-a-year business, and we covered 365 days here on the show. You will be involved, when you continue to watch our show. We will be going through the draft. We'll be going through special days, free agent signings, combine, waiver list. I mean, there's no stone that is left unturned, Mike.
Yeah, I remember last year free agency, man. That was like the breaking news. We signed Landon Roberts, released Jack. All this stuff happened live on air with us. That was a fun time, and I can't wait for that. Because right now, you got
just repeat the process.
Bowl, the Shrine Bowl, exactly. Yeah, it's 365 with the NFL, and my God.
I was thinking to myself, remember yesterday? Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just saying how I just love this time of year is my favorite time of the year. I can't wait for the combine to happen to see who's going to be the combine warrior that rises up the charts, the guy who was solid throughout college, who doesn't have the quote unquote measurables, that drops down and lands in a perfect spot and has a great career. I love it.
Mike, yesterday we talked about, and Derpy and everybody on the board, we talked about a playoff memory that was our least favorite, one of our worst playoff memories for the Steelers. How about this one? 2012 overtime, first play of the overtime. Tim Tebow hits Demaryius Thomas. 90 or 80 yards for a touchdown. One play, 10 seconds, the game was over. That could have definitely been on the list as well, guys.
The day was bad enough, Ryan. We've had a lot of issues pre-show, this show. Then you have to bring that up. I remember where I was at a Christmas party. I was drinking, bowling, and I see that happen. And I'm glad I was in public because the meltdown I was about to have.
Yeah, man.
I just went to the bar and kept drinking. I drank and drank more.
Well, yesterday was that anniversary, that 15-year anniversary of the last Super Bowl win, the day that we got our sixth Vince Lombardi trophy here as a Pittsburgh Steelers. And they showed a few things since then that happened, and it was nothing but bad. And one of the videos that I did see was that play, and Tim Tebow was hardly good enough to do anything that season. However, he managed to beat the Steelers on that one play in overtime, and that was it for him, Mike. I don't think
that was it. That was his swan song. When he beat, he was back there, Ike Taylor, Troy, and I forget who the safety was because it should have been Ryan Clark, but he couldn't play due to a sickle cell. So it was rough.
Yeah,
I was.
Jason Kelce.
Why'd you got to ruin our day with that, Ryan?
Jason Kelce will be at the Grammys in place of Travis Kelce. He's going in, and the place was Bro. He will be attending the Grammys to see Taylor Swift and support her and all those kind of things because Travis has football practice. He has a Super Bowl to get ready for. So, Jason Kelce, Mike, your guy, he'll be at the Grammys, and we got to do prop bets on that as well.
Is he going to be shirtless?
Is he going to be shirtless?
I think he's going to be shirtless. I'm here for. He's going to get up there behind everyone that wins and celebrate with him, going, because I want Jason Kelsey to hype me up. I want him to go where I do anything. I want Jason Kelsey there cheering me on, drunk and shirtless.
Not only, Ron, have I never watched the Grammys, I've never heard of Taylor. I got to tell you this: I've never heard a Taylor Swift song, and if I have, I didn't realize that's what it was. I was talking to somebody, and I thought to myself, I couldn't name one Taylor Swift song if my life was on the line, and I was in execution style position. I was on my knees, and somebody had a gun pointed right at my head. I wouldn't be able to name a Taylor Swift song or sing one if my life depended on it. I really couldn't.
So what you're saying is you couldn't shake it off.
There's a total disconnect between me and this whole Taylor Swift situation. And again, I just don't understand how she's taking the world by storm. I can't even think of, I can't name a song.
You know
I guess
what?
you just have no soul.
That's me when people talk about the Beatles. I don't see the appeal of the Beatles. I don't see the appeal of Taylor Swift, but people love both, and they both made a crap ton of money. So they're doing something better than I did.
I gotta tell you,
Clowns.
the Beatles I mean, they had, their hits are crazy. Their songwriting was amazing. I really don't know how that correlation is made here, but
I just don't. I just think to me they were pop music of their day. Taylor Swift's pop music of her day, and I just to me they're both. They're not my musical taste.
Yeah,
but people that love them.
But the Beatles aren't my taste, but I really do acknowledge that these songs are. I mean, there's some amazing writing in these songs.
I just don't see it. I'm
really
okay
a musical
being wrong.
guy.
I'm okay being wrong with it. Yeah, I'm not a my musical ear is not great, but I know what I like. And
TJ Watt was selected by the 32 NFL coaches were asked, and he was selected to be the Sporting News All-Pro on the Sporting News All-Pro team. Mike, this just to me is another situation where they're kind of giving TJ Watt something, because I think ultimately they're going to award Myles Garrett when it's all said and done. It seems like they're blowing a lot of smoke up his ass to keep things
he's winning every award everywhere except PFF and then the last one. It's like when you see a non-quarterback in college win every single major offensive award. They're not going to win the Heisman. They're going to give it to the quarterback. That's what you exactly said. It feels just like this.
It really does. It feels like they're trying to keep things smoothed over, so whenever they finally give it to Myles Garrett, everyone will lose their mind.
Yeah. Preach it, Derby. Preach it.
I'm preaching it.
What else do I see regarding the Steelers? Let's talk about this running game a little bit, guys, because the running game is going to be huge this coming season. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, they were one of two teams to be able to have two running backs with 1,100 yards plus. Of course, Najee with 1,205 total yards from scrimmage, and Warren with 1,154. The Lions were the only other team to do it. I really think this could play to our advantage, on top of many reasons. I mean, you get a coach in here now that is kind of, what he's going to do. It's going to involve running backs. It's going to involve the small ball kind of game. I just wonder because you are going to have Joe Burrow back. You are going to have, again, as we say all the time on this show, it's a passing league. I just, how long is this project going to work? How long is the grinding out and being a running team? I mean, you've seen as good as that Tennessee team was in 2020. They still screwed the pooch when it came down to it. They got into the playoffs and was not able to get past the teams that are generally good, and Kansas City. And so I'm just wondering how this project is ultimately going to turn out. Is this something that we're going to take a look at, give it a run for 2 or 3 seasons, and then kind of move on from? Mike, with what we have in place, it would be a nice 1990s football team. I think that in the 90s we could be pretty successful and pretty productive. But what do you just in general, how do you think the next 3 years is going to play out with what it is that we have? I mean, we have good running backs. We have this coach that's supposedly going to be able to cater to that. We have an unideal quarterback situation. How do you see these next 3 seasons playing out for the Steelers?
You look at his offenses down in Tennessee, great running game, but they also had the one year, both years, 1,000-yard receiver, another receiver with almost just under 1,000 yards.
Has he
Tight
done
ends with
anything
over
outside of
800
those 2
yards.
years?
So
Do you
it
know?
wasn't just a strictly running team. They
Has
was
he ever
using
had
the
any
run to
success
open up the
anywhere
passing
outside of
game
those 2 years, Mike? Do you know?
in that quick in rhythm passing game, and then open it up with those deep shots.
He's
Mike,
frozen.
Like,
I know he's frozen. I don't know if he can hear me or not. Mike.
No, don't do it.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
It's gonna happen again.
But that's what I said. As far as that tenure down in Tennessee, I wish everybody would quit referring to it, because I want to know outside of that. I want to know if there's anything that was accomplished outside of those 2 successful years in Tennessee. I want to know if you could hear Mike, Ron, on the board, because I can't hear Mike.
He's frozen for me.
Can you hear Derpy and I? All right, go out and come back in, Derp.
There we go. Let's just hope Ryan. Let's just hope Mike.
Well,
his computer's dog crap.
Yeah, let's just continue on. Ron, can you hear us now? This is the worst show I've ever put out. I'm so frustrated right now. Ron, if you could hear me now, let me know. Okay, so we're gonna continue. Derpy, so here's my question. Is there anything outside of these 2 years in Tennessee that is completely talked about over and over and over? Every time you have a question about Arthur Smith, everything comes back to these 2 years in Tennessee. Do you know? I mean, was there anything outside of these 2 years that he's ever done that was a success?
No.
That's the thing. I don't see it. I know he did a little college. He was coaching in college for a bit. He was did what he did in Tennessee, then over to Atlanta. And as I said, outside of these 2 seasons in in Tennessee, nothing really indicates that he's this great offensive coordinator. I'm just wondering, what was maybe there was something else. Maybe there was another catalyst in the Tennessee system that that helped that as well, to have to ensure that he had these good seasons to help him along in those good seasons. Again, people could say that the running back Henry didn't have any 1,000-yard rushing seasons till that point, or whatever they're saying, but you still have Derrick Henry, and again, he is still an elite back in the NFL. I think that it remains to be seen, Derpy. I really do. I
would agree on that.
I can't give him the complete go just yet. And the thing is, I hope I'm wrong. I hope when it comes down to it, he is able to do good things here in Pittsburgh, and he is able to turn the bend, so to speak, and get us back on track and have us winning football games and put us back in contention. But at this point, it's just too early for me. I can't jump on that just yet. A lot of people seem to be doing that, but I can't. I won't, Derpy. I have to wait till at least halfway through the season before I start giving that kind of opinion. But it is what it is. We have Arthur Smith as our offensive coordinator, Derpy.
And the question is,
Derpy,
what is the next move going forward into the draft?
You're right. I think we're going offensive line. I know we're heavily interested in a center. I know that defensive line got to be on this list. I know the inside linebackers got to be on the list. I've seen a couple sexy picks being put out there with names as far as wide receivers and quarterbacks, but I hardly believe that we're gonna do that unless like I said yesterday, we would make some kind of crazy splash move to move up far enough in the draft to get that big name guy that you want. But as Mike said before we lost him here, I don't
It's
think
not
that
many.
guy. I don't think that guy exists. I don't think that guy exists this year in the NFL. I'll be surprised if Caleb Williams comes up and makes a splash. Be very surprised. Drake
I think
May.
he's going to be a bust.
I think Drake May and Sam Hartman are your best pure quarterbacks coming out. I think they could both sling the ball around. I'm not crazy about either one of them, but I mean, you got to admit that these guys are two of your bigger names as far as quarterbacks. And then the guy out of LSU, the guy out of Florida State, the guy only had one good season. So, there really is nothing. There's nothing as far as quarterbacks coming up. I think that this class might be a bust as far as quarterbacks, Derby.
I would agree.
What else? What else? What else do we want to talk about? Derpy, I'm talk about this Aliquippa situation a little bit. I don't know if Mike's
right.
getting things settled on his end. I don't know what's going on. I'm just freestyling it right now. Aliquippa now, they're of course they got bumped up to 5A because PIAA believes that they're too good. So you're taking a single A size school, you're bumping them up to 5A. They're a single A school, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5A. They have this group of young men playing in. They have been, wildly successful. Of course, a lot of, they lead the country. No school in this country has more Hall of Famers, NFL Hall of Famers out of their school besides Aliquippa. Aliquippa has the most, but they're so good they get bumped up to 5A. They try bumping them up to 3 to 4. They still continue to win. They still continue to win state championships. But here they are. The PIA has had enough. They bumped them up to 5A. 5A now. These teams, I'm going to read these teams off, and these are very big schools. These, when you're here in Western Pennsylvania, these are big schools when you hear them. This is the 5A North Division. It has Pine Richland, who's always in the state finals. Penn Hills, where Aaron Donald came out of. Woodland Hills, where Rob Gronkowski played briefly when he was in high school. He played at Woodland Hills, I'm sorry. Steve Breston, a few other guys in the NFL made it. North Hills is where LeVar Arrington came out of. Fox Chapel and Aliquippa. So these are all huge schools. Pine Richland, Penn Hills, Woodland Hills, North Hills, Fox Chapel, Aliquippa. I think they're going to get these kids killed. But you know what? Aliquippa says, screw it. We accept the challenge. We'll take it on.
That's a great mentality.
It is. I mean, that's a mentality you got to take. You can't go into the situation with the woe is me mindset, because then you're really going to get your guys killed,
Yeah. I mean, in Ohio terms, that's D4, D5, D4 to D2, which is ridiculous. But that is a great mentality for those kids going into that 5A.
Also, in other 5A, the other 5A conference, this is the 5A East. Again, I'm going to just talk about these big schools, and you'll probably recognize some of the names, and I'll give you some notes along the way. Gateway, Plum, that's where Pat McAfee's high school. Who else? Penn Trafford, Kiski, Latrobe, Armstrong, Franklin Regional. I mean, these are all huge schools. And you're lumping Aliquippa in them just because you can't, because you're lily white schools that are governing counties can't beat this football team. And I'm almost certain that's what it was. The Beaver, the county that we're in, they used to play Aliquippa every year, and they continue to get killed. And you know how it is. People with money, people in positions, they could pull things, they could do things. It just seems to me that they're getting Aliquippa out of these divisions that, that they're being very successful, Derpy, and putting them in situations and setting them up for failure. Again, they are in 5A North, Pine Richland, Penn Hills, Woodland Hills, North Hills, Fox Chapel, Aliquippa. If anybody knows anything about those high schools, there's a lot of NFL players that came out of those high schools that are in the right now. What's the quarterback that? What's the kid that was in the XFL and then he went to Dallas? He was the quarterback. He went to Pitt. I can't think of his name. but Pine Richland, they have a bunch of people that through time has made it through the ranks. They're just a big school. They do very well, and again, they always find themselves in the state championship game. Penn Hills, Aaron Donald, Woodland Hills. There's a number of guys that was in the NFL from Woodland Hills. North Hills was a team that had the likes of LeVar Arrington, Fox Chapel. So say what you want. I'll be very, very, very interested to watch this season play out. And as I said, Derpy, it's not only these are big schools, these are successful big schools as well. So it's going to be
How many
very
are those
interesting.
academies?
And none of them are. That's the thing about Western PA. We don't do the academies. It's all public schools.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go over to the eastern side of the state where a lot of these academies that recruit and things like that are going on. We don't have that here, but these are again traditional powerhouses, and very interesting, but very, very screwed up as well. You got to kind of feel
I would
bad
agree.
for what's going on over there with these kids. So, Caleb Williams, let's see on the board run says I agree. Caleb will be a bust. He's not a leader. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't see it in him. I don't see it in that other kid. Also, the kid that who's the kid that played Penix Jr. Fenix. What's his name from
Michael
Washington?
Penix Jr.
He's one too. I just don't see it. I watched him play in the national championship. I was very
He hasn't
unimpressed.
performed well at the draft. Well, at the Senior Bowl this week, he hasn't performed well.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
he's probably losing stock. Again, he made a lot of bad decisions against defenses that, I mean, of course, Michigan's defense is very good, but if you go to the NFL, the defense is going to be a lot better. You're going to be seeing a lot better talent in the NFL. So I'm him and the Bo Nix up in Oregon. There's not that guy. That guy doesn't exist in this draft. They're going to push these names, but you know as well as I do what it is we're looking at. Ron also asks, who remembers the movie All the Right Moves?
No.
I don't remember that move either.
I don't.
Too old and huge injury concern. So also Derpy this week, Pitt has a chance tomorrow. They play Notre Dame. They have a chance to win their 300th game at the Peterson Event Center. As we speak, Pitt sits at 299 and 91 at the Pete. They have a chance to get 300, their 300th win at home tomorrow against Notre Dame. So if you get a chance, check that out.
Notre Dame's always rough to go into.
Notre Dame is rough because they never have this good team, but they always play good enough to beat you. And
yeah,
let's
see if the Panthers can pull it off.
The Buccos guys. Bullpen strength apparently seems to be the strength of this Pirates team. It isn't the starting pitching. It isn't hitting. It isn't fielding. But you know what? When it comes down to it, if we have the lead in the 8th or 9th inning, chances are things are going to go pretty well for the Pirates this year. Bringing in an aging Aroldis Chapman. I do acknowledge that Aroldis Chapman is aging a little bit, but he does still throw over 100 miles an hour regularly, and he is very effective, of course, as we've seen him play for Texas last year in their run.
And he still is a World Series champion.
Exactly. Pair him up with David Bednar, who led the National League with saves last season. Your closing end part of your bullpen, very tough. I don't know what to expect from the rest of the team. Of course, the hitting, starting pitching, and fielding is all in question. But by God, we have a good closing part of the bullpen, Derby.
That's always the best. More pitching is better.
Yeah, you need your starting. You got to have starting pitch. You got to have a rotation. If you don't have a rotation, you're not going to do anything. You'll have a spotty season. You'll do good when when your guys that are top rotation guys pitch. You'll do well. When they're not in there, you're not going to do well, and it creates a spotty situation. I've seen it many times here in Pittsburgh. So very, very. I can't say that I can't say that I'm excited about the Pirates just yet, Derpy. Maybe it'll take a 20-8 start, just as it did last year in April, to get excited again. But as of right now, I just can't say that I'm excited about this Bucco squad.
Reynolds has got to do something. You gave him all that money.
Yeah, they said he's the 4th best left fielder in the National League. We will see. And you know what? Indications say that he will have a good season just because he did have kind of a down season last year. He didn't perform the way that he's getting paid to perform. I could see Brian Reynolds possibly having a decent season this year just because, he is getting paid for a lot of money for a reason. And that's because he is good. And if he continues to not play well, I just I feel a good season by Brian Reynolds coming on. But smelling the playoffs, I guess, is the goal for the Pirates. Just to smell them, not get in them, just to be close enough at the end of the year. They're happy with that.
I'd say your best bet is wild card,
which is frustrating, and it's hard to keep interested whenever this is the situation. Also, Derpy, the Pirates also sign on board Kanan Smith-Njigba. The outfielder is the brother of your boy Jackson Smith-Njigba, drafted out of Ohio State to the Seattle Seahawks. He was on the team. He went down and up a lot last year from the minors back up. He just couldn't get it together. But your boy Kanan Smith-Njigba, Derpy, will be on the squad this year again.
Let's go.
Cabrian Hayes is another one. Listen to the year that he had after June last year, Derpy. After June, this is what Cabrian Hayes did. 307 batting average. This is from, let me see, from June on. So from June on, 307 batting average, 35 extra base hits, 13 home runs, led third baseman with, he led all third basemen with 21 defensive runs saved, and he won the Gold Glove. So there's a
that's a good that's some promise. That's some promise there.
So I mean, you put these pieces together. You got Brian Reynolds, who you're paying him big dollars, so that they think that he should be able to do something. Cabrian Hayes at the hot corner. You're going to get O'Neal Cruz back, who's a freak in nature. We lost him very, very early in the season. I want to say it was the first or second series of the season last year. We lost him all year. So O'Neal Cruz will be back. We lost Endy Rodriguez, who was supposed to be the catcher of the future. We've already lost him for the entire season. That sucks. Center fielder Sawinski, he's the home run hitter. He's going to hit you about 30 home runs, but besides for that, he has that Jose Canseco where he either strikes out or he hits a home run. So I mean, that is what it's going to be. I don't know, Derpy. It's not looking good, but you know what? It may be just a little bit better than last year. But there's still time. You bring in some starters. That's where you're putting yourself in position to win baseball games, and you got to go out and get your starters. You got to have a rotation. You got to.
What are the starters looking like right now?
Mitch Keller. Yeah. Well, they got Vince Velasquez coming back, who started off last season. He had a pretty decent, first month and a half, and then he got hurt, and he was out for the rest of the year.
And that's the thing. You guys got hurt.
So it was a lot of injuries. But we have Mitch Keller, and we also have Vince Velasquez, who will be in the rotation as well. They need to go after a couple other guys, even if it's that guy from Cleveland that we were talking about. That's Snyder guard, I think, something like that.
Yeah, he signed with you, I believe.
He was.
Did he sign with you?
Not yet. They were talking about a lot of speculation. Even if you could have him as a back end starter in your rotation, and then also bring in one of these. We were saying the other day that in LA they have a surplus of starting pitching out there. They have about 8 guys that could be in a rotation. If we could somehow tap into that and dig into our farm system a little bit, bring one of these arms up. You could be sitting at 4 decent pitchers, and that's kind of where you want to be. Because as I mentioned yesterday, when you had Liriano, you had AJ Burnett, you had Garrett Cole, and you had Jeff Locke. I don't even remember who the 5th guy was, but you have those 4 guys who are going to get you quality starts every time out. I think that's the best case scenario. You have Mitch Keller, Vince Velasquez. If you could bring in like a Snyder Garden and maybe one of these arms from LA, I think that's going to be the best position and the best situation for the Pirates. Whether that happens, I don't think it will. I mean, what Bob Nutting,
it probably won't.
Bob Nothing.
Yeah.
Ron says Tom Cruise's movie 80s about team with Craig T. Nelson. I don't recall. I remember Craig T. Nelson on Coach and Poltergeist, but I don't remember that movie. Let me tell you a little bit about the website, guys. We'll start getting ready to wrap it up here in a couple minutes, Derpy. Go over and check out www.the2dumyinzers.com. Mike's put together a pretty cool website over there. There's a lot of cool things, links. You could watch every show that we've ever did through the website. You could communicate with us. You could email us, any kind of thing. You go over, check out the new website, www.the2dumyinzers.com. Also, I do want to give a plug to Brian Pasquale from the One Man's Opinion sports show over at the WBVP radio station. here in Beaver County every Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. Brian is live talking sports. You could always go check him out on their website. It's also on Facebook, YouTube, or you could download the app and catch everything over there. But Brian Pasquale, at One Man's Opinion, he does mention us, and he always gives us our plug. So I do want to give it back to him. Go check him out. Good show. Derby, I'm ready to get into today's trivia question. This is another Pro Bowl trivia question. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Question of the day is this, Derpy. And anybody on the board who wants to participate as well certainly can. Here's the Pro Bowl question of the day, because we are heading into Pro Bowl weekend. In what year, Derpy? In what year did the NFL Pro Bowl move to Honolulu? Of course, we know it's now in Orlando. It's not in Hawaii anymore. But what year did they start playing in Honolulu? Think that over. If you want choices, I can certainly do that for you. But we are live, everybody. We're live 5 days a week, right here from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here. If you missed the show live, or you just or only had the opportunity to listen to the show, maybe you're at the gym, maybe you're in the car, taking a walk, you got your earbuds in, and you want to listen to the two Dum Yinzers, the live show that we do every single day, we upload over on Spotify and podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. So whatever you're doing and you want to listen to the show, check it out. 8 o'clock, Spotify. Check it out. All right, here we go, Derpy. In what year did the NFL Pro Bowl make a move to Honolulu? Would you like some choices?
I would like some choices.
All right, here are your choices, guys. I'm looking for the year that the NFL Pro Bowl moved to Honolulu. When did it start being in Honolulu? Was it 1980? Was it 1981? Was it 1979? Or was it 1982? 80, 81, 79, 82. What was the first year that the NFL Pro Bowl moved to Honolulu? All right, Derpy, I'm going to start with you. What do you think?
I'm going to go 82.
82. Ron on the board also says 82. I'm going to lock you in if that is your final answer. Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
All right, there we go. Locking Derpy in. And he is locked in. It's official. In what year did the NFL Pro Bowl move to Honolulu? 80, 81, 79, or 82? Ron and Derpy both said 1982. The correct answer, guys, was 1980. 1980.
Ooh.
It was originally put into place to give the guys extra incentive to want to continue to play football, even when they didn't have to anymore. As Mike argues on the show, that you know what, these guys they're done with the season. They don't want to get injured. And this was kind of an incentive for them to want to continue to play. It was very successful for 30, 40 years almost. So 1980, guys, was the year that the Pro Bowl started in Honolulu. It's all right, Ron. Sometimes it's
What do you say?
He says wrong again, LOL. But that that's the thing though. I do search and I try to make them difficult. So you can't get down on yourself. I try to make it hard so they so these guys don't get them.
Try again.
Yeah. Ron said I was 12. Derpy,
how are you supposed to know that?
Derpy, is there anything that you want to say before we get ready to take off for the day?
I'll leave it up on this. Me and Ryan apologize for Mike's inconvenience today.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. It sucks. Now that the show's over, I mean, I'm ready to throw up because of what happened. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's over. I don't have to deal with it anymore for the rest of the day. We will work on making sure it doesn't happen any in the future. There's Mike on the board. He says, sorry, guys, finally made it back. But my thing for the day is this, guys. The Pittsburgh Zoo will let you name a cockroach after your ex, and you get to feed it to an animal at the zoo. This is something they're doing at the zoo. So if there's somebody that you dislike,
that's the bomb.
maybe an ex that you dislike, you could name a cockroach after them and feed them to an animal. So there you go for Valentine's Days for the bitter hearts. You could always do this on Valentine's Day as a celebration
That sounds awesome.
Other than that, Derpy, you have Penguins. I mean, hockey tonight, today, you have the Skills. Tomorrow, you have the NHL All-Star game. And Sunday, they wrap it up with NFL Pro Bowl game, which is now flag football, other things like that. So through the weekend, you do have some all-pro action.
You have the Senior Bowl, I believe, as well.
So, yeah, a lot of sports going on to get you through. Super Bowl, of course, next week. So, guys, everybody, I hope you have a great weekend. We want to thank everybody for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. Now Mike's on the board getting on my nerves. But I do want to say thank you, everybody, for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We wouldn't do it without you. What's Mike doing?
Being a tinky winky.
He's explaining his tech problems on the board. But
his 5-year-old excuses.
Yeah, you just wait. Next week we'll get back on it, Derpy. We'll get this competition between you and his son. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. But besides for that, everybody, great week. Thank you for checking us out. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Have a great weekend. For Mike, there for a while at the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, we lost him. Derpy, myself, the two Dum Yinzers. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
And